welcome back to Wendy's Colouring, and today is my May 2025 finished colouring. And yeah, I suppose mermaid. I've got some mermaids in there, but not loads. I can't make myself just colour one thing for the entirety of a month. I'm too easily bored. So, whip that I never got to. I've been bad. I just couldn't make myself do it this month. I just wasn't in the mood. So, Rita Berman's Land book. I'm in the middle of this page that I am recording. So far, I'm just ink tense. As you can see, I've not touched it this month at all. I don't know why. I just wasn't in the mood for it. Hopefully, I shall finish that recording during June, or I plan to. Whether I can make myself do it or not, that's a different question. Sorry, I've got a bit of glare. This one you will have seen in the month if you've been watching the channel, because I did do a tiny little bit of colouring with my I can't speak today, hoo markers, if I can get my mouth around it. Mesmerised, Cute and Cozy by Hughie Artful. And I think I just did the little intro page, yeah I did, with the new Supreme brush hoo-hoos. So it's only a quick and easy one really. And a little bit of guang now just to finish off some of the lines out of it. Normally I would work over with coloured pencil. I do prefer working over a little bit with coloured pencil, but it's quite nice to see just what you can do just with the markers and a little bit of acrylic. I think this book will probably come into my colouring plans next month, because there were some pages that I didn't get to because I did that page instead. But yeah, nothing amazing, but yeah, it's a nice start in it. Then I hadn't worked in this one, so R.J. Hampson's Lost in Time. So I thought it's about time I did a page in here, because I do love an R.J. Hampson page always. So I did the little dino, what does it say? Too far, Jurassic period. Mr. Fogarty discovers himself in the Jurassic epoch and decides to leave. So I did this one, and yeah, I did enjoy it. I do enjoy an R.J. Hampson page once I get going. This I did, I think I based these in my Supreme markers, hoo-hoos again. I'll show you what I've actually based. Just take my thing off, just gonna rip the page. But yeah, as you can see, I did the sky and a little bit of the land. I didn't do him, and I didn't do the dinosaurs. I've done all of those with Chromaflows. So yeah, this is the set that I take back and forth to work. I use them at work for work. And I do a little bit of this when I get a quiet min. So yeah, my Ohihu markers, Chromaflows, some Guangna paint markers as per, and a little bit of Derwent Drawing white. I don't think I love the white in the Chromaflows, so yeah, I've added a little bit of Derwent Drawing white into that set, and I find that does help, just get a little bit of highlight back when you want it. I feel like there's a bit more pigment in the Derwent Drawing one, but yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a fun page. I like the little dinosaurs. I'd done all the kind of leafy bits and the volcanoes and things at the back, and then thought, oh, I don't want to do all these in green, because otherwise he's green, the leaves are green, all the dinosaurs are green. It's a bit green overkill, isn't it? So I have done my dinosaurs in ridiculous colours, but I thought otherwise it's going to be a little bit boring otherwise. I think it felt like it kind of needed a little bit of something other than green. So yeah, I have done it in scary colours, but I do quite like them. I think this one's the only one I'm not loving the colours that I picked. He's got kind of tealy greens. Yeah, I wish I'd kind of done his body in something else. But yeah, I like the purple one, the red one, the orange. I think they're working quite nice. I quite like my snail. His shell has a bit of a greeny tinge as well. But I kind of felt it worked with the background, because obviously the background is quite kind of volcanic, kind of earth, so I kind of felt it needed a bit of colour. But yeah, that's my first one in this book. I'm umming and ahhing about swapping all my R.J. Hampson books to the hardback ones, or I don't know about printing them myself on better paper, because I love colouring these images, but I didn't love the paper. I've clearly spoilt myself over recent months with good paper. And yeah, I didn't enjoy working on the paper, and I'm not enjoying how much of the texture of the paper you can still see through. But time, I just didn't have time to sit there with the blender to get rid of it. But anyway, R.J. Hampson, Lost in Time, beautiful book. I do love the images. They just make you smile, don't they? So yeah, I'd like to see it. Oh, I don't. Clearly I've had a bit of scrap in there that I was working on. Who knows? R.J. Hampson. Then another quick one this month, marker colouring. So Whimsical Wonders Special by Edwina McNamee. I think I have one of her Christmas books. The paper is dreadful in it, but I saw this one and thought, I quite like some of her work sometimes. It's a little bit fun, and I thought, when I looked through this, there was this Mer Cat. So I thought, yes, go on. I will have the Mer Cat page. I will do it. And I did enjoy doing this page. It's a little bit silly, isn't it? There were bits that I was a bit like, I don't quite understand what that is or what it's supposed to look like. So it was kind of make it up as you go along, some of it. I did, again, use my Ohuhu Plus markers to do quite a lot of this. So I did, as you can see, quite a lot in marker first. Some of it was just a base colour onto it, rather than anything particularly fancy. But it does speed it up, just because this is obviously quite a big page. And I did want to just speed it up a little bit. So yeah, base of markers. Then I used a few Caran d'Ache luminance, I think for the fur texture and things like that. And I just added back into the mermaid tails and the fish. Oh, and the leaves. In fact, I've used quite a bit of luminance now, I'm looking. Yeah, bit of luminance. Probably a little bit of a waste to use luminance on this paper, but I wanted to, so I did. I've used the gold is my Lightwish Golden markers, because that I love their gold the best. It just is always lovely. And then the glittery ones are the Langies glitter pens. So there's little bits here and there in this kind of bordery kind of frame. The green is the Langies. The little gold bit up there is Langies. I think I did the stars in Langies as well. I think I did colour them in yellow. Yeah, I did. I inked them in first and then I've put the glitter over the top. So it kind of does help if the glitter's a little bit see-through, if you've got a base colour underneath it. I don't think I did that on the green. The green was just, yeah, the green was just the marker by itself. They are great little glitter pens for cheap money, those Langies ones. I do like them. And obviously a bit of Guangna to get rid of the lines here and there. Although I haven't got rid of loads of lines on this. I think I did a little bit round his fur, a little bit on the tails, but not a huge amount. And on the edges, I think mainly of some of the borders. I've left all the lines in the kind of seaweed and things like that. So yeah, but I quite enjoyed it. It was a fun page. Didn't take too long, and he's quite cute, my little Mer Cat, isn't it? I say he, and he's bright orange. I don't know why, but as soon as I looked at this page, I could see him in these kind of ginger orange tones. I don't know why, just in my head, he's ginger. And my husband, when I faced him, and he was obviously bright yellowy orange, it's like, what's on earth? It's like, that's how I see him, that's what he's going to be. But yeah, Whimsical Wonders Special by Edwina McNamee. Then this was a whip last month. It's one of my 25 and 25 books. But yes, I did finally get it finished. There was a moment where I thought, I'm not going to get this finished because I'm over doing these flowers and leaves. Yeah, I enjoyed this side. I'm not so sure I love doing this side, if I'm honest. A double as a starting page in this book was perhaps a bit daft, really, for me. Because I don't love doing Joanna Basford at the best of times. And this was all a bit twirly-whirly leaves for me. I think after one was fine, but to get the second one finished it felt a bit painful, let's just say. So, background was gelatos. I think I did the double page in the gelatos first, just because I knew I didn't want to do anything huge on the background. Pencils, this is all in the Woomer. They do work really nicely on Joanna Basford paper. They're soft enough, they're quite comfortable to use. I wish there was a few more colours in them, but I do like them, and for the price of them, There's lots of deals around at the moment with them. On their website, there's quite a few people that have got codes. I think they're a good little cheap buy if you just want some cheap pencils and don't want to spend big money. They're a great little starting point. I did use some Brutfin and Macrons just because I wanted some slightly lighter colours for in the flowers, and the lighter colour they had was a bit too light. I needed something with a little bit more colour in it. So I did pinch a Brutfin out of one of my other sets. Guangnars, obviously, because I use them pretty much on every page now. A little bit of Langies gel pens, again, for when I wanted. Some of the lines on this are quite thin. Some of these little twirly bits, so when you want something just a little bit more control, the Langies gel pens are great for that. And there is a bit of Neuro Aqua Shimmer glitter gloss just in the centres of the flowers. It doesn't show up a huge amount, little bit now and again, just in the little centres of the flowers. I just felt it needed something. Oh, and I've done it on the little bees' wings as well. But yeah, I like it now it's done. I'll probably tell myself not to do a double here again. But I don't know. Some of them are more interesting than maybe this page is, isn't it? I don't know why I started it really. Just fancied doing the flowers. But then it got a little bit repetitive. But I'm good. I'm pleased I got it done because I wasn't sure I was going to. Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Joanna Basford. Then, this is one of my favourite books, Alice's Little Wonderland by Francesca Rossi, sadly out of print. And I did this page. So I was umming and ahhing about whether to do this page because obviously I've got this page over here that I do really like, and obviously she's nice and metallic. And the background on this was just blank, so all there was on this page was just her by herself. I might put your picture in actually so you can see. And I thought, she can't just have a blank background when she's next to this because she's just going to get lost. So I did take the pattern out of her dress to draw in the background. And I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work or not. But I think I quite like it now. It would have been too plain for these to be sat next to each other with just a plain background. And I didn't want to put her in kind of a realistic scene because, again, it doesn't go with what's on this page. So, yeah, I'm kind of pleased with what I did. I did kind of put two colours in these kind of lozenge shapes that are from her dress, even though she only has one on her dress, because they are quite big shapes. And it felt like they'd be a bit too plain if I didn't add something more into it. So yeah, I did add some other shapes in, and then I don't know what these were, but I've kind of coloured them orange, like they're an orange or a tangerine or something, so I kind of kept with that. And yeah, as a background, I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it suits this book. I wouldn't do it in lots of books, but for this book it kind of worked. So where's my little instructions, because I did use quite a bit of stuff on this and I don't have a memory anymore, so I have to write it down. Background is Neo 2's. I don't think I wet them, or did I might have wet them once and then I think I went over again with the crayon because I really did want it like quite dark and quite flat, so it kind of matched what was going on the other side, so it did take quite a bit of coats. Pencils were Holbeins. I did use a couple of luminance for skin because I don't like the tones that are close to skin in Holbeins. They're just not quite the colour I like. So yeah, face are with a couple of luminance. Metallic watercolours. The silver is my most favourite silver out of all the paints I have, is an Art Spirits one. I think it's, did I write down what it was? I think it's True Silver or something like that, but it's an Art Spirits one. It's absolutely, it just looks like liquid chrome on the page, doesn't it? The gold is my own gold paint, but I am not able to make a silver as nice as Rebecca does. And obviously a bit of Guangnars paints because, you know, I don't think I used them a huge amount. I think I took a little bit out of her hair so that she didn't have a black line around the top of her hair. I think that might have been it. I don't think I've used them pretty much anywhere else. I didn't take the lines out of her dress or her costume, or a little bit on her skin down there. I think that's the other thing I did. just a little bit on her skin. Because it's quite graphic the way this book works, and it feels wrong if you take too much of the line work out of this. I think it needs the line work in it. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this double now. I think I was a bit worried about what I was going to put next to her, because I do like that page. And I thought if I do something I hate on this side, it's going to ruin the book and you can't get it anymore. So yeah, I quite like her. I quite like this page now. But Alice's Little Wonderlands. What else? Then I've worked in this lovely, again glare, sorry, the Witchy Wonders colouring book by Emma at Stormside Design, stormsidedesign.com, or if you're in the UK you can find her on Etsy. I don't think she ships abroad on Etsy because of the shipping costs. You're better going to her website. A few people have asked me lately. So this is my first page in Witchy Wonders. I don't know why I've left that in, but let's get rid of that. Clearly I was leaning on it. So I've done the bees page this month, and I did enjoy this page. I do tend to base a little bit in her paper just because these are quite big pages and it speeds you up, and it's single-sided, so why not? So as you can see, I've based the sky and I based a little bit of the green and just the border, so not a huge amount. Materials wise, pretty simple really, and in the main my basing was my Hoo-Hoos, the Supreme brush ones, the new ones, just because I've had them in those little bags and they've been sat downstairs next to me on the coffee table, so they've been handy. So I have just tended to be basing with them. For such a small set, yeah, I've managed to do quite a lot with them really, considering I've only got I've got about 60 colours or so in them, but I'm finding that set quite adaptable. Luminance for most of it, with a few greens from Holbein's. So I do like, Holbein's have like I think it's apple green or something like that, but I really miss that green out of the luminance set, so I do tend to just add that back in when I'm using mainly just the whole luminance. I like the whole, I can't even speak. I like the luminance on this paper. Just something about the texture of the paper and the pencils just seems to work really nicely. There's a little bit of super golden markers down here in the rocks for this little symbol, but not much. Renaissance watercolours, as you might be able to see over the top of the wings. So I tend to colour the wings. Can you see? Yeah, if I do it like that, you can kind of see it has shading underneath it, and then I paint over the top. So depending what angle you see, you either see the colouring that's underneath or you see the paint, which I quite like for wings and things like that. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's mainly just pencil work, a little bit of Langies gel pens, just because the little bits in the flowers were a little bit fine, and I thought if I bring an acrylic marker in there, I'm just going to obliterate those fine lines. So I did use a little bit of the Langies. I don't love the yellows in the Langies; they're a little bit too strong. But I felt the ends of the little tips inside the flowers needed something, so I did use them for that. But yeah, again, another really fun page from Emma. These are just really relaxing pages to work on. I love working on the paper. I think in some respects that's why I'm struggling a little bit with RJ Hampson. I've got used to working on some really nice papers, and then when I go back into that, I'm like, oh, these feel horrible. But yeah, the paper is so lovely that it's just a dream to work on. So yeah, I really enjoyed working on this one this month. I'll probably have a go in her little new one that I flipped next month, but we'll see. But Witchy Wonders colouring book by Stormside Design. Then this page, this page took far too long. So Tales from the Forest by Hannah Carlson. This is my Netherlands copy, Dutch copy. I love the paper in this book. This is my second copy of the book. But why did I start on a double? I mean, I like it. I do really like it. For a good chunk of it, I was really enjoying it. but it took me so long. Oh my word, this took over a week, and I think this was the first page I'd been working on. There was a point where I was like, I'm not going to be able to do a video at the end of this month because I'm literally just going to have this page because it's taken me so long to work on. But I do really like it, and I'm glad I kind of spent the time on it, even though I was getting a bit fed up with it. Like, I've not outlined that gem now. I'm looking at it, and I have no doubt it's because I just had enough. I'll go back and do it after I finish the video. Yeah, I started with this page with Holbein watercolours, so all the background I did with watercolours. I think I did all the way down here as well, all in watercolours. There was quite a lot of kind of scene space in this page, and I thought I do not want to do all of these backgrounds in pencil. Quite often for Hannah Carlson I do generally do it all in colour pencil, but I thought this has got a lot of details, there's an awful lot going on. I knew it was going to take me ages anyway, and I thought if I start doing the background in pencil as well, it really is going to be 8 weeks of a job. So I did watercolour a lot of things before, but this paper and this book, look, absolutely no coming through at all, which I still just found astounding. And in the main, doesn't even feel like it's had watercolour on. I didn't soak it, but as you can probably see from my background, I did get it pretty wet. It has been pretty wet. But yeah, if you want to paint in your books, I can't recommend the Dutch versions enough. They're not easy to find so much now. This one's been on Amazon UK for a little bit of time, and if you spot it, I would buy it up straight away because, like I say, the paper in this just takes water so beautifully. Not even got the crinkly paper effect. Yeah, so Holbein's watercolours, and then I've used Lightfast pencils in here, which I don't use a huge amount, but I thought actually I'm going to see what they're like on this paper and whether I like them. I did add in a couple of luminance just because there's a lot of green in this page, and again you kind of get fed up of using the same green, don't you? So it's handy sometimes just to pinch a couple of greens out of another set. So I did use some luminance as well, Guangnar paint pens always, and some Langies gel pens. I think they were mainly these little sunflowers because again they're too small to use an acrylic brush marker on really. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. There's no metallics, there's nothing shiny, it is just paint and mainly pencil. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. I'm really pleased with it. I like the look of it. It's close to what I was aiming for. There's always bits, aren't there, that you're like, oh, I don't like that little bit, but we won't go there. I won't point them out, the bits I don't like. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it. I got to that over it stage with it, I think. It was nice to be able to open it at the end of the month because I worked on this at the beginning of the month and go, oh, yeah, no, I've kind of forgotten it a little bit now. Yeah, no, I do like it. Whereas if you'd asked me, if I'd filmed this, if I'd worked on this last and filmed it straight after I'd worked on it, my mouth would be full of hatred for it because I was just over it. Please finish. I'm sick of all this green work. But now I like it again. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And for me, it's a fairly subtle colour palette. No pink. There is no pink on this page, and that is fairly... I suppose I did squeeze a little bit of kind of pinky red into the background. Maybe I cheated there. But in the main, I didn't do the flowers pink, which is unusual for me, because I do like a pink flower. Anyway, I stopped myself. But yeah, my first double in this second copy of Tales from the Forest by Hannah Carlson. It's one of my favourite books, this, I think. Then, this one, I owe... Sorry, Claire. I owe Veronica big apologies, because we were going to do... In fact, I'll show you the page. I've probably showed it countless times. We were going to do the page that I started. It must be past the one we actually did ages ago. Was it March, February? I don't know. For whatever reason, because I do want to colour this, I just couldn't make myself do it. I think it's all this down here. My brain is like, nope, that's too busy, I can't face it. I don't know. Anyway, we've swapped because she could see I was useless and didn't do it, to do this one together. And I'll add hers in here. She got done so quick compared to me. Yeah, it's been really helpful to have someone to persuade me to do this page, because yeah, I think his books are outstanding. They really are, but I struggle to work in them just because of the amount of detail. I think my brain goes, no, I can't be bothered with that. It's too much like effort. So thank you very much to Veronica. She's kept me going with it by keep pushing me on Instagram. Have you done it? Are you working on it? It does help sometimes. But yeah, thanks to Veronica. And she got hers done so quickly. It was nice to have a bit of inspiration. Mine, as you might have seen last time I worked on it, I think I'd just done a little bit of the metallic, and I think I'd started on the tail, if you saw it in my plans or at the end of last month's colouring. I have worked more into the background of the sea. I wasn't totally happy with how it was, so it's had a few more coats of paint. It is a lot more sparkly now in some areas, particularly the bottom. I kind of darkened off a lot of the bottom of it because it just felt like there was no depth in the image at all, and there wasn't much going on with the sea either. I kind of felt she needed to be in the scene a little bit more, so I have darkened off quite a lot of the sea in the metallic. I've used a much darker tone, and I've spent quite a bit of time adding quite a bit of shadow inside all of this as well, because again it just felt like they weren't part of the same image for a while, so that did take a little bit of time, and I wanted a little bit of a ray of light back in, so I think I did that with the gelato actually. If I put it away, I think I have. I think I just had the white gelato on my desk and thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it with that, because I've had quite a lot of water mediums on this bit of the page. You pick up the kind of granulated kind of feel of the surface because of all the mica that's there, and the gelato just seemed to go through it really softly, and you could smudge it out a little bit with your finger, so it kind of worked for me a little bit, that, though you can't see it because of the glimmer. I can't talk. Words are in my head, but they don't want to come out of my mouth today, sorry. So yeah, that was that bit. What else did I do? So metallic watercolours are a bit of a mix. There's some that I've made myself. There's some of the Art Spirits blue glittery paint on here. I think there is a Renaissance one on here as well. I've just kind of used the colours that worked for this background, but all of those in the background. Pencils are luminance and Holbeins. Holbeins tend to be the more bright ones. Obviously the kind of fluorescent-y colours are most definitely the Holbeins, because you don't get those in luminance. I think I've done the fish and her in luminance, and all of this in the Holbeins in the main. Some of this looks like luminance down here. I can kind of tell from the colour palette which are which, but yeah, the brights are the Holbeins. The kind of more normal looking colours are the luminance, because you obviously don't get fluorescence in luminance. Pens, there's Langies gel pens. There's a lot of really fine lines in this section, and it was fortunate that I got some of the fluorescent ones of the Langies to help with the Holbein pencil work, because otherwise the edges of that would have been a bit tricky, and I didn't want kind of fluorescent tentacles with black lines around the edge, because that doesn't really add to the flavour, does it? I did use my Copic white on this, which is here, these ones. I did just buy one of these off Amazon. I saw they were on there loose, but when it was working, these were great. But now we're back to... Have I got a bit of paper? Yeah. We're back to... It doesn't matter how many times you pump it. It doesn't matter. The nib is blocked in the usual plastic nib problem marker. So, yeah, these were great when they were working, but now my nib's blocked. So I'm going to try pulling it out and soaking it and all of that. But the paint in it is really opaque. So it is a good pen, but not if it breaks when you've used it like 5 or 6 times. That's not great, is it? So yeah, it was still working when I was working on this, but when I came to do something else with it, Nope, it gave up. I think I did come back to this page, and because I've put Langu White on my list as well, so clearly at some point it gave up while I was working on this page. What can you do? Whites. I have to say my Langu White, which I've had longer than that Copic, that is working fine, and as you can see, I've used about that much now. It's going, still working well. You just literally clear the nib off. It seems to get a bit jammed up there on the nib, but yeah, I just scratch it off with my nail and it works fine. So yeah, cheap is the way to go. They're not quite as opaque as that Copic one, but at least they work, so, you know, I'll go with that. But yeah, delighted to get this finished. Thank you very much, Veronica. Sorry I'm such a slow coach. Got there in the end. But Spook Jezebels by Tomislav Tomic. I'm not sure how easy this book is to find anymore. I did read a few people say it was out of print now. I don't know if it is or it isn't. Oh, sorry for the glare. ISBN's there if you want it. Then, I wasn't sure about this book, as you probably know from if you watched my haul. Vibrant Wilds by Sarah Renee Clark, but the paper is wonderful in it, and I did quite like some of the portraits in it, so that is where I have started, and I've started in this little section. Yeah, I'm still not loving the drawings in this book, I think is where I'm at. I enjoyed doing the portraits in luminance. This little background that I've just kind of washed out is in Neo 2s and just a water pen just to brush it out. It doesn't take the watercolour brilliantly, this page, not as good as that Dutch Hannah Carlsen that I've just been talking about. This has, even though I didn't wet it a huge amount, I don't know how well you can see, this has buckled a little bit, and it is the little bit of a, you know, watercolour sound paper. Skim's lovely. I've done this with luminance. This paperwork takes those pencils really nicely. It's a good colour pencil book, I think this. You can get away with some watercolour, but I think you do have to be careful. It hasn't bled through, which is, you know, a good thing. But I think what I was noticing, I did a little test at the back because I wasn't sure. I was thinking I was going to use my granulation. So I did try it on this back page, but the paper is so smooth. It was literally just sitting on the top of the paper. It was quite odd. So I did the two, because I think this is my Spinker watercolour, and then that's my Kuretake. So they were just kind of sat there, so I literally left it, and then as soon as I left it, it dripped into my spine. And now, where is it? There. Now I've got a nice stain on a few of the pages. The bunny page, but it's worse on another of the pages, that one. So that's a bit annoying, but it's dripped into the spine. But it does kind of sit on the surface quite strangely, and then because it's sitting on the surface, it seems to take a long time to dry. Now maybe because I used the granulation one, maybe that was why, I don't know. Obviously it's done the granulation effect quite nicely, but yeah, you've really got to watch it, because otherwise it's just going to literally roll off the page if it gets the chance. Because it's literally just sitting there. So I don't know. I will still use watercolour in this book. I think just got to watch about getting it really soaking. Most of this pencil work is luminance. I've used some Langu gel pens in the main on the bits, but there were some bits of the flowers that just didn't make a huge amount of sense. So I've kind of covered it up now, but you couldn't really tell. Some sections you could recognise as a flower shape that has a centre and it has some petals, but these were just repeated kind of blob shapes, and I wasn't sure whether this one in particular was a centre of a flower and then these were supposed to be round it, but then there was different shapes. There was just a few bits that were a little bit confusing as an image to work out, are they a flower? Are they just circles? Are they something? Yeah, there were bits that I was getting a little bit lost with, but I did enjoy it. I think I did get a bit fed up of the roses in particular, unfortunately, because they're very, very similar. I just kind of felt like I'd coloured the same two roses all those times. There was very little variation in them, and they're very kind of round on the edge rather than a more natural petal shape. But I did enjoy it. I like it now it's done. like I say, the paper's really nice to work on. This, I don't know, it just, yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say, really. I'm trying to like this book, but then when I start working in it, there's bits that I'm like, oh, why is that like that? But yeah, the paper's lovely. I can't recommend the paper enough. It is really nice to work on. Colour pencils work really nicely on it. And my luminance have worked really beautifully on it. I kind of did these flowers, although they were, because they kind of looked a bit hydrangea-y to me. I kind of wish I hadn't done these quite as dark. I think they were a bit too dark. I didn't want to do them all kind of pretty reds, so I thought I quite fancy some dark ones in there, but I think because the hydrangea is, well, this flower shape was so much everywhere, I perhaps could have done with something a bit darker, kind of spread about with it to balance those darker roses. I'm not sure. Maybe some more of these somewhere in here would have helped me balance the colour, but obviously they were only there at the top, so I don't know. I don't think I love what I've done with it colour-wise in my flower selections. I like the hydrangeas. I enjoyed doing these roses, but then afterwards I was like, oh, I don't know if I like them. It's just been one of those pages, I think. I don't know. I'm talking too much about it now, so I'm going to just shut the book. But yeah, it's my first page in here. Lovely with colour pencil. Watercolour, just have to be a little bit more careful with it. I like the portraits in here. Probably I will come back to do some more of the portraits, but Vibrant Wilds by Sarah Renee Clark. And then finally, this has been a whip for forever. I think about a year now. I don't usually work in these books, as you probably know if you watch me. This is my only one of these I have. So, Best of Le Grand Classiques by Art Therapy. I started this, I think, in an Artex video a year ago, and I didn't know what I was doing. There's no other way of saying it. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue, and then I stupidly, without realising it, started in this kind of tiara bit where it has these little circles that you leave blank, but obviously this book doesn't tell you to leave those bits blank, so I didn't know what I was doing. That was the long and short of it, and as a result I didn't touch it again. But this weekend I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go back in that and figure it out, because I don't know what I'm doing. And I started doing a bit more common sense and did all the black lines first. And then I was like, okay, I kind of get what it does now. And because there's all this like circly patterns everywhere that have got nothing to do with the image you're doing, have they? Which I didn't quite understand when I first started working in it all that way ago. The other thing I've realised is that you have to be really careful what you pick colour-wise down here, because if I'd actually followed this key, she would be bright orange in her skin, and it was something that I did look, was like, okay, that's on her face, surely she doesn't want to be that colour, she looks like she's fried herself somewhere. So yeah, I did change some of the colours. Obviously she's a lot more pale than this suggested. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And her dress again, they were like really strong purple and pink, and I thought that's not very attractive for a dress, is it? Plus I have given her fingernails a bit of colour because they were just white, and then because I've made such a mess of the tiara, I did go over with a little bit of metallic on her tiara because it's a tiara. But yeah, I quite enjoy doing it, and they're so quick, aren't they? Once you actually get your head around how to do it, I was actually like, why is this taking me a year? This was easy. Why did I not do it? So I did start off with my Artex markers, just the normal white barreled ones. Today I've been working on it with some of the grass markers. Most of this is in the grass markers. That little bit metallic in a tiara was my sim tap. In fact, it's literally here in front of me. The silver sim tap. It has quite a nice little bit of sparkle in it for an acrylic marker. It does feel like there's a little bit of mica in this. The gold and silver I have literally right here in front of me because they're quite handy, those. And because they've got a brush nib, you can still get into quite a bit of the detail. And yeah, that was it. That was no pencil. I did and ah when I was kind of working on it. Oh, I could go back into the skin and give her a bit more work, but that's not what you're supposed to do in these books, is it? You can see my daft keys that I've been trying to figure out what is what. That was my original figuring out, and that's my latest figuring out. Still made a mess. Needed a bit of coats in some sections. The grass markers, they were pretty good. I was fairly pleased with them. The white, that needed a few coats. In the end, I did pull my I have a whole load of whites here in front of me, but yeah, I did pull my Guangnart white out in the end because I got fed up with the grass one, because sick of doing the layers. But the skin tone was pretty good. I only did 2 coats on this skin tone, and it's quite light colour. That I didn't think that was bad going. The yellow needed more coats than this skin colour, which seemed a bit strange to me, but yeah, that had 3 coats. Most of the other dark colours were fine, just 1 in most of those, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. It was fun. It was a lot quicker, and obviously I've had quite a lot of really complicated, heavy pages this month that have taken me a lot of time. They've needed a lot of concentration, so this is quite a nice kind of cleanser, or just something that's progressing quickly. I think that's quite a nice balancing thing, and I'll probably do a bit more. She doesn't look exactly like the picture, because as you can see, she's much more dark, kind of orange colour in here. She's maybe a bit too pale in mine. I think I needed somewhere in between. But yeah, I quite like it. Only see, her dress is very kind of contrasty. I've gone pastel, but you know, it's my book. I can do it how I want, can't I? But yeah, I'd maybe a little bit warmer colour for her skin next time if I do another one. But yeah, there's a few in here I can see myself doing. Might do another one next month. I quite like the Snow White one, wherever she is. Don't know where she is. I know she's in here. I saw her the other day when I was looking. But yeah, I don't see myself doing that. I mean, I'm not even sure you can see it. It looks horrible. Skull or something, I don't know. It's not for me. It's not giving me good feelings, so I'm not. Who is this? I don't know. Is it out of the Little Mermaid? I don't know. I've not watched The Little Mermaid, so I don't know. Where is Snow White? Oh, she's literally on the page after. So I'm thinking I might do that next month. We'll see. I don't know. Depends how I go. Time-wise, we'll see. But yeah, it was quite a nice, fun little... Do something a bit different. I can take them all out now, can't I? Something a bit different for me. I'm not going to get hundreds of these. I'll probably just stick with this one. We'll see how many of it I get done. But best of Le Grand Classiques. I think, is it Hatchet Heroes? Art therapy books anyway. I'm sure you lot know. Yes, Hatchet Heroes. I'm not making it up. This one was just from Amazon. I've not ordered any from Lyrica or whatever it's called. I've never even ordered from them, ever. Anyway, and yeah, that was all my pages for this month. I'm quite pleased with how much I've got done. Obviously, some were whips that I just had finished. I was just pleased to get that finished, let's be quite honest. But yeah, which is your favourite this month? I suppose I do have to say this one, although I do love this one as well. And I did really enjoy this one. And I'm quite pleased with this one. I feel I've done quite well this month, really. I don't quite know how I've managed it. It kind of felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, but now when I've got it all together, it feels like it's quite a lot. So, yeah, that was my May, done and dusted. We'll see what we get for June. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know which one you preferred, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.